Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is great to be here. EAT brings people together, sharing ideas and providing solutions to some of the most pressing global issues of our time. I'm here to talk about oceans, and some of you may think, well, did he go to the wrong conference? I actually think I came to exactly the right place. Let's start with some facts. 8 million tons of plastic ends up in the oceans every year. 236,000 tons of that is microplastics. Tiny, tiny pieces of broken down plastic. By 2050, there may be more plastic in the ocean than fish. Norwegian scientists that are mapping fish stocks off the coast of Africa and Asia are now telling us that almost every second catch is not fish, but plastic. And all this plastic is slowly contaminating wildlife, birds, seafood, and marine ecosystems. And that seafood ends up at our dinner table. Fish eat plastic. We eat fish. Add to this that illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing both threatens fish stocks and marine wildlife across the world, as well as causing countries to lose out billions of dollars every year. And the conclusion becomes very clear. The time to act is now. On the one hand, we have to stop the world's marine ecosystems from being destroyed by marine litter and mismanagement. On the other hand, it is essential that we increase ocean productivity. If we manage to strike the right balance between production and protection, we can harvest huge resources from the sea. And we will need to. By 2050, we may well be more than 10 billion people on this planet. Demand for food will increase. Agriculture, already under pressure, will be even more ravaged by climate change. Our welfare, our health, our economies will depend on our ability to sustainably harvest from the oceans. But we will never succeed if we continue to mismanage marine ecosystems and use the ocean as a dumpster. So what can we do? Firstly, we need to create greater understanding around the importance of sustainable management of the oceans. Clean seas are rich seas. Rich seas are sources of food, but also jobs and economic development. On a recent trip to Ghana, I met a fisherman who told me that his catch is noticeably smaller today than just a few years ago. For him, this is not only an observation. Catching less fish is a direct threat to his livelihood and his ability to provide for his family and for himself. And he's not alone. That is why we need to make the case that sensible and sustainable ocean management is hugely important for economic growth, jobs, and development. And to make this case, Norway's Prime Minister, Erna Solberg, has established a high-level panel on building a sustainable ocean economy. The panel will consist of heads of governments from 13 ocean countries across the globe and will cooperate closely with experts, civil society, and UN organizations to create a platform for action to unleash the potential in sustainable ocean management. Hopefully, the panel will do for the oceans what the new climate economy panel did for the climate, showcasing that there is profit in putting people and planet first. Now, secondly, we need to start acting on marine pollution and plastics today. The UN Environment Assembly last year decided on a zero vision for marine pollution and microplastics. Now it is time to start delivering on that vision. And we know what the problem is. It is estimated that 80 to 90% of the waste that ends up in the oceans comes from land-based sources. The almost complete lack of effective waste management systems in many developing countries means that waste resources are quite literally wasted, and that onshore waste ends up as offshore debris. When I went to Ghana, I said to my team that I would like to spend some time collecting plastic on a beach outside of Accra. And the embassy came back to me and said, that can be arranged, but there is nowhere to dispose of the waste once it is collected. And I think that illustrates the problem. Now, eventually, as you can see. We found an NGO that could help us, but it illustrates the point. We need local and national solutions, but we also need a global joint effort. Norway supports the development of a global structure where states commit to prevent litter and microplastics from entering the ocean. In addition to the normative work, we also need action on the ground, and Norway wants to lead the way. So this year, the government has set aside 280 million Norwegian kroners, approximately $35 million for a development program to combat marine litter and microplastics. As part of this, we have taken the initiative to form a new global multi-donor World Bank fund to combat marine litter and microplastics. And there are lots of promising projects in many countries related to the oceans, but we lack an effective and efficient financial structure to enable governments and the private sector to join forces. That is why we have taken the initiative to establish the fund, and we hope like-minded ocean nations from across the world will join us. The main focus of the fund will be waste management systems in developing countries, by providing financial incentives to make it attractive for governments and the private sector to invest in waste management based on the principles of a circular economy. We call it cash for trash. Giving trash a value will help turn waste into a resource rather than a problem. If we don't solve the waste management issue, we will clean our beaches for eternity, and our fish stocks and marine wildlife will be depleted at an even faster rate. Now, thirdly, sustainable ocean management and cleaning up the oceans will require the ingenuity, innovation, technology, and capital in the private sector. Norway is therefore a partner in the UN Global Compact Action Platform on Sustainable Ocean Business that was launched in New York just last week. The aim is to mobilize the world's leading ocean-related companies to come up with concrete actions to ensure clean and sustainable seas and turning global challenges into business opportunity. And just last week, I got the chance to test an underwater drone when I was in New York that could be one of the solutions to make it more efficient to clean up the oceans. And as you can see, it was quite fun too. Now, dear friends, marine litter and microplastics transcend borders. When a dead whale was found at Sotra, at the west coast in Norway, this was found in its stomach. Plastic bags from all over the world. For Norway, this is a call to action. Norwegians have lived by the sea and off the sea for more than 1,000 years. For us, the ocean is both a way of life and a way of making a living. But our position as a leading ocean nation is not only rooted in our history, it is also our future. Norway's use of the oceans is based on the sustainability principle. We have learned that it is fully possible to combine the activities of different ocean-based industries and ensure a healthy marine environment as long as solid environmental standards are in place. Responsible ocean management ensures sustainable harvesting and food production, as well as employment, growth, and welfare for generations to come. It is only if we take good care of the oceans that we can hope to exploit their full potential. And it is only if we act now that we can prevent a slow-motion catastrophe. The many new ocean-related initiatives show that the issue of the state of the oceans is moving up the international agenda, and that is good news. The oceans hold tremendous untapped potential as a source of food, medicines, energy, and knowledge is the key to unlocking this potential. And the only way to get the knowledge we need is through international cooperation and arenas like this. We must be gathered to find solutions together. And this platform is unique in terms of solving the major challenges in the world. In the last 10 minutes, 150 tons of plastic has entered the oceans, just while I've been talking. And those of you who have been drinking coffee have most probably also been drinking microplastics. The time to act is now. Mankind needs clean oceans. Let's make it happen. Thank you.